Every idea and mental picture must produce after its own kind, whether the picture be good or bad. The law determines it so. Hello, I'm Carla, psychotherapist and mindset coach, and on this channel, I help you get unstuck and reach your goals by exploring topics that shift your mindset so you can live your highest potential. We are continuing the reading of Working with the Law by Raymond Holliwell. We're still on chapter 1, Working the Law. I'll be reading from my screen to get a little more eye time with you guys. We left off last reading when he says, when we learn to employ our minds constructively, we use correctly these hidden powers, forces, and faculties. This, the scientist tells us, is the key to success in living life. There is a marvelous inner world that exists within man, and the revelation of such a world enables man to do, to attain, and to achieve anything he desires within the boundaries or limits of nature. I believe the reason the famous English literary genius William Shakespeare is the leading dramatist of the world lies in this realm. The great Greek dramatists, with their noted insights, always saw the causes in some external fate or destiny that brought about the downfall of their characters, but Shakespeare saw something within the man as the cause of his failures or success. That is so true. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves that we are underlings. We see Hamlet wrestling with his reluctant, indecisive soul. Macbeth is being pulled and driven by his ambition. Othello is torn and discomfited by his jealousy. Always the characters were battling with their inner selves, as though the dramatists were saying, "You are the master of your circumstance. Call forth your power, initiative, and ingenuity, and be the master. Fate is in your hands. Determine it." If every man has the power and privilege to determine his fortune, what is that power? How can we recognize it? If all conditions are the result of our actions, and all actions are the outcome or the fruit of our ideas, then our ideas must determine the conditions in our daily lives. Let's read that again. If all conditions are the result of our actions, and all actions are the outcome or the fruit of our ideas, then the ideas must determine the conditions in our daily lives. We can't hear this enough. Repetition. If all of our conditions in our outside world are the result of our actions, and all of our actions are the outcome of the fruits of our ideas, then our ideas must determine the conditions of our daily lives. So if we reverse engineer it, this is an image of the mind. So the results we get, our outside circumstances, are a result of the actions we take. And the actions we take are a result of how we feel, or what's going on in our subconscious mind. And what's going on in our subconscious feeling mind is what we've emotionally, the thoughts we've got emotionally involved with in our conscious mind. What we allow into our conscious thinking mind, the thoughts and the ideas that we entertain, we repeat and we get emotionally involved with, which drop down to the subconscious mind. So if we reverse engineer the results, we see results that we don't like in our life, we have to look at our actions. What are we doing? What are we doing to create these results? Well, what is driving our actions? It's our emotions, it's our feeling. But what is driving our feelings and emotions? The thoughts we think, and then going out to like, well, what are we surrounding ourselves with, right? So we're reverse engineering it. That is what Raymond Holliwell is saying. If all conditions are a result of our actions, and all the actions are the outcome of the fruit of our ideas, then our ideas must determine the conditions in our daily lives. And it's really down here, because we can think all day long about things and it's not going to make it happen. It's what we're emotionally involved with. It's what's going on in our subconscious mind that determines this. So what we have here, most importantly, is what will dictate this. 95% of our whole lives are run subconsciously. Only 5% is our thinking conscious mind. So this is the issue, not this. An idea is an image or a picture in the mind. This is so important. We think in images. Any thought you think has with it an image. It might be very fastly flashed on the screen of your mind. You might be unaware of it, but there is some sort of picture or image in your mind that accompanies every idea or thought. If I were to ask you, think about your car, think about your siblings, think about your mom, think about your pet, you see them in your mind. You think about, let me think about that, and you see it. It's like we come up with an image. We think in images. So an idea is an image or a picture in the mind. There must have been an idea, a mental picture, behind every well-known achievement and invention. From the beginning, this is the creative plan. We read in the first book of the Bible that the great architect God saw a finished pattern or idea before it grew. There was a mental picture established within the mind of the creator before it became a reality on the without in some form of a creature. So that's for people that believe that, our experience of this world comes from the mind of God, that this whole, is an idea of God. The Lord God made the earth and the heavens and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. Every architect and builder follows the same plan, whether he is building or planning a house, a bridge, an institution, or his own life. Every man is his own designer and builder. Like the creator, he makes his creations within before they materialize on the outside. All fears of sickness, poverty, and old age are impressions, ideas, and mental pictures long before they become painful realities. Whatever we impress, we express. Whatever ideas and thoughts we continually get involved with that we accept from the outside world, all the fearful thoughts, whatever we impress, we express. Whatever we're impressing, we're expressing. Whatever film we allow on the screen of our mind will be projected out. Again, our conscious awareness is like a light. Think of yourself like a projector in a movie theater. I always use the example of, imagine you're sitting in a movie theater all by yourself, and you look back up behind you and you can see the projector up streaming the light on the screen. But there's no film in the projector. What would you see on the screen? It would just be light. It would be a white blank screen because there's no film to project onto the screen. There's no images in the projector. But just like our mind, trust me, we're not empty. We're always having thoughts and ideas, whether they come from us or the outside world. Mostly they're just coming from the outside world. We're not guarding our minds and our hearts from what's going on in the outside world. So back to the analogy. You're sitting in a theater, you see that projection screen. The moment they put film in that projector, boom, you see images on the screen. But think about that as your life, as your mind. Your consciousness is the light. Your thoughts are the film. And whatever thoughts you have floating in front of the projector, the light, will be what you project out, what you will see. So what film, what thoughts, what ideas are you getting emotionally involved with and putting in front of this precious, powerful light? Because the light doesn't care. The light doesn't discriminate what you put in front of it. It's just it's neutral. It's just going to push out whatever thoughts you're thinking. I have to remind myself that every single day. We're growing every single day. We never arrive, It's like remaining sober. I say that all the time. Every day we have to choose. You hear that in the recovery, communities, one day at a time. I'm not going to drink today. I'm not going to use today. I'm not going to go back to that maladaptive coping skill today. One day at a time. Every day is our opportunity to commit to right-minded thinking. What are we thinking? Are we even thinking? Or are we just letting all of the outside thoughts from other people come into our mind? So I want to read this again about the architect. You are the architect of your own life. You are the architect. So think about yourself when you read this. Every architect and builder follows the same plan, whether he is building or planning a house, a bridge, an institution, or his own life. Every man is his own designer and builder. Like the creator, he makes his creations within before they materialize on the outside. So I'm going to read this to you. You are the architect and the builder, and you follow this plan with whatever you do, whether you're building or planning a house, a bridge, an institution, or your own life. You are the designer and the builder. Just like the creator, you make your creations, your life, first on the inside with your thoughts and your ideas before they materialize on the outside. Really think about that. All fears of sickness, poverty, and old age are impressions, ideas, and mental pictures long before they become painful realities. Every idea and mental picture must produce after its own kind, whether the picture is good or bad. The law determines it so. The law does not question or challenge the kind of picture we give to it. It only knows that it must take what is offered or planted and then proceed to materialize it into visible form. Some men can visualize great engineering achievements, yet they do not know that by the same method they can overcome their disease and despairs and enjoy the health and happiness they long for. This is so important. I use the analogy of your mind. Your mind is a garden, and your thoughts are seeds, and the subconscious mind is soil. So if your mind is a garden and your thoughts are seeds, you can grow in the soil flowers, or you can grow weeds. This subconscious mind is like soil of the earth. It's amoral. It does not care. It does not judge you. It will take whatever thought you plant in it, and you get emotionally involved, and it will produce. It doesn't discriminate good or bad. That's why we see bad things happening in this world and we go, how does that happen? They're just following the law. That's why it's important to really hone in on the power of your will, to focus only on what you want. People who have bad intentions, people who are angry, people who are destructive, they have very strong wills. That's why we see these bad things happening, because they're working with the law, but for the negative. Just like he said up here, every idea and mental picture must produce after its own kind, whether the picture is good or bad. And I remember hearing Les Brown say this one time, more positive, loving, like-minded people have to get more conviction and more focus behind what they want, because people who have bad intentions, they got a lot of conviction. They got a lot of power. They're working with the law, but they're using it destructively. So what would happen if we, you, anybody watching that wants to improve their lives or the world, really started working with the law? But I think that we have trouble if we have good intentions to, better our lives or better our families' lives. We feel selfish. We feel like it couldn't be that good. Who am I? We don't have conviction. We don't have faith. We don't have belief. But people who want to, bomb or, go shoot a school up, they have all the faith in the world. They don't give a shit. We have to get behind our convictions for constructive, positive results. Just as those people with negative, destructive thoughts and ideas have conviction and faith in theirs. We must get serious about what we're doing in our lives. It's going to have a huge impact, not just on our lives, but people around us in the world at large. All right, let's read a little bit more. So the law does not question or challenge. So the law, the subconscious mind, does not question or challenge the kind of picture we give to it, what kind of thoughts and ideas we give to it. It only knows that it must take what is offered or planted and then proceed to materialize it into the visible form of our outside results. Some men can visualize great engineering achievements. They can think about amazing ideas like Thomas Edison, Henry Ford. Yet, they do not know that by the same method, they can overcome their diseases and despairs and enjoy the health and happiness they long for. So just like they created amazing things, they can apply that law to anything in their life. Health, happiness, marriage, finances, all of us can do that. Mechanical engineering is the same as mental engineering. They are both dependent wholly upon a creative intelligence. Mental photography, like mechanical photography, produces exactly what it sees. Hello. Mental photography, like mechanical photography, produces exactly what it sees. A picture of a homely, unsightly person never turns out to look like a beauty pageant winner, nor does the little short person look tall and large on a photograph. A picture of black will not be white. Neither can negative, destroying ideas produce constructive and positive results. If the ideas are negative, they will in turn create negative results. This is so simple. I have to hear this over and over. We cannot entertain a picture of black and get white down here. Really what's happening down here, because it's what we're emotionally involved with. Because we think we might want black. And we're like, I want to get the black picture out here, but we're emotionally involved in a white picture. Whatever's happening here is what's going to happen out here. That's what makes change so difficult, because we don't understand how this works, but he's really teaching us here. So negative, destroying ideas will never produce positive results. If we have negative results, it's because we're entertaining negative ideas, period. This is a reflection of what's going on out here. Your outside world, my outside world, is a reflection of what's going on in here. Negative chaos. And we might not be consciously aware of it. It is happening on a subconscious, deep emotional level. They're patterns that we're addicted to, that we're running on programs, just like our subconscious mind runs automatically, blinking our eyes, digesting our food. That's how our thoughts are too. So if we're getting results we don't like, we got to go up into the subconscious mind. And I'm just pointing to the head because we think that our mind is in our head, but it's not. We have to see what's going on in our emotional mind. What kind of patterns, what kind of habits, what kind of thoughts are we entertaining unconsciously? Well, pay attention to how you feel. How do you feel most of the time? Just this morning, it was cracking me up. I always pay attention to what thoughts most importantly, how I feel. And it's usually this like irritated, negative when I first wake up and I'm like, oh girl, what's going on? And consciously I'm thinking about positive things. I have a lot to look forward to, but there's this feeling and I'm like, oh, what do I got to clean up down there? And it's always like, I'm not where I want to be. I wish things were different. This is screwed. And I'm like, ooh, girl, let's trail it back. Is that true? What's good? And so you just like alchemize those lead thoughts into gold. It's all the inner work, but pay attention to how you feel. All right, we're ending it right there. I'll just reread that last paragraph. It says, mechanical engineering is the same as mental engineering. They are both dependent wholly upon a creative intelligence. Mental photography, like mechanical photography, produces exactly what it sees. A picture of a homely, unsightly person never turns out to look like a beauty pageant winner, nor does the little short person look tall and large on a photograph. A picture of black will not be white. Neither can negative, destroying ideas produce constructive and positive results. If the ideas are negative, they will in turn create negative results. All right, we will pick up on line 100 next read. I hope you're enjoying this. I sure am. I love this book. I love starting my morning reading this and kind of rolling it around in my mind and thinking about these ideas. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, all of my information is below and all the services I offer. I would love to meet you and help you in any way that I can. Again, thank you for joining me. I will see you next time.